Yo, what's up YouTube? What's going on today? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm talking about Boruto episode 284, which is Sasuke Retsuden episode 3, called Sasuke's Story, The Secret in the Cellar. Now, carefully analyzing this episode, I've noticed that half of this episode, it changes its path from the manga. While this episode does follow manga chapter 5, it does not revolve directly around the manga. So the biggest difference was everything that happened in the basement. The thing about the basement was the anime followed a different path than the manga. In the anime, we see that Sasuke goes inside the room, he goes all the way to the end, he finds the altar, and then the room leads out to a back exit behind the building, in which case Sasuke finds Meno. Now upon finding Meno, he notices that Meno is under a genjutsu and Meno's been reanimated, to which Sasuke frees Meno from his genjutsu, inserts his own chakra in there, and then Meno becomes Sasuke's best friend. This scene is different than the manga. In the manga, Sasuke goes in the cellar, he sees all the chickens, and Director Zanzo follows right after, to which case Sasuke disappears because he used the shadow clone. That was the biggest difference between the two scenes, because the anime decided to go a different route. Now, as some people are saying, the anime is following the novel. I haven't read the novel, so I don't know if that actually happens in the novel. But the one thing I did like about this episode, they actually explained a jutsu for once. The creators went into more detail on the reanimation jutsu. This is one of the few rare instances in Boruto that they actually explain a technique from the previous generation. Most things from Naruto and Naruto Shippuden are just thrown out the window and they don't bother explaining them, except in this case they actually explained about reanimation jutsu. So I actually liked how they did that. Though the flashback of the reanimation jutsu, I'm not sure what episode it's from, but it looks like it might be from Naruto Shippuden. So I could be wrong on that, or they could have just made that up, because Sasuke only seen reanimation jutsu when he went with Orochimaru to ask the 4 Kages about the history of Konoha and what it means to be a ninja, the village, all that stuff. That's the only time Sasuke seen reanimation jutsu activated by Orochimaru. So I'm not sure where Sasuke seen the reanimation jutsu again. But as I said, I like the way they executed that. But my idea, I question where they're going with this, because in the manga none of this stuff happens, so I wonder if the manga will actually go into depth on Sasuke breaking Meno out of his genjutsu and possibly controlling Meno, though I think that'll be in later chapters. Now with the anime itself, there were a few scenes that were changed that I did not like personally. The biggest one to me is the map of the heavens. When explaining the map of the heavens, they noticed that the cards look like all the tailed beasts. In the manga, they went into more depth. They talked about each individual card, they talked about the names of the beasts, they talked about the 10 tails, and even they mentioned the astronomer Totter and the sage's 6th path on the last 2 months. In the anime, they don't follow that. The idea is just given that they somehow know about these things. Like, that was my problem with this episode. I want them to have a more mysterious tone, you know, to make it more questionable rather than the characters knowing everything off the bat. Like, for example, Sasuke looking at the flame and he sees an orange flame, he thinks of the 9 tails in Naruto. Well, in this, Sasuke doesn't even think of it at all. He just sees all the 12 cards, instantly thinks of the tailed beasts, and that's it about the ultra particles. They don't mention anything else till later. So that was one scene that kind of got on me, but whatever, it is what it is. Now the second scene that was a bit changed up was Sakura transforming into the messenger. In the manga, Sakura knocks out the messenger. In the anime, Sasuke uses his Sharingan and knocks the guy out. Now another problem with this scene here that I wanted them to go into depth but they didn't was when Sakura transformed into the messenger and she tells Sasuke to transform into his staff, which the manga did properly, because in the manga, Sakura tells Sasuke to transform into it and she says you should be able to do it, it's not that tricky. While in the anime, they don't mention Sasuke transforming into the staff, to which makes the viewer think, when did Sasuke transform into the staff and what was the reason? They didn't explain that in the anime. They literally get into the office and we instantly assume that Sasuke is in the staff. That's because we read the manga. Now if you're a first time watcher, you're gonna be like, yo, what the hell is going on? So in my opinion, they sure went in more in depth on Sasuke transforming in that. Now with the office itself, this part was important because in the manga, when Sakura gets in the office, all of Director Zanzo's office has grass in it, to which Sakura throws the staff, it hits the ground and doesn't make any noise. But in the anime, that was a different case. She rolls the staff and it makes some noise. But I think they sure changed it up and they sure went the manga route and had Sakura throw the staff, because that looked so much better than her rolling the staff. Her rolling the staff looked really pathetic, I'm not gonna lie, because if they made her throw the staff like they did in the manga, it shows Sakura's strength and precision, while in the anime, rolling it just looks so bland on her character. Though it did make sense, because in the anime, they at least talk about Director Zanzo's eye and how his eye has a blind spot, in which his eye cannot see really really wide, so it made sense on that part. Now lastly, this person we see who's been listening to Sasuke and who's a director Zansol, I think that's GG. If you look carefully at the last scene, that most likely looks like GG. Like, it's kind of obvious. At that point, you can clearly see that it's GG. So I don't know if GG's an enemy yet, and his true purpose was to actually follow Sasuke around. That could be the case, though he is a bit suspect right now. So we'll see how the anime and the manga focus around him, because you can clearly see that is GG right there. Look at the hair and everything. So otherwise, this episode was okay. It follows most of chapter 5. Now, I know the reason why they kind of did this, because when Sasuke Retsuden chapter 7 comes out, they want the manga to go a bit further ahead of the anime. Because in this episode, if they followed manga chapter 5 and most of 6, then next week's episode would have overlapped the manga. So I can see why they ended it off here. And then next episode revolves around the message in the rings, which is basically going to be chapter 6.1 and 6.2. And the week after that is going to be the final episode, which I assume is going to be chapter 7 and possibly chapter 8, if anything. In which case, I do believe the anime will pass the manga at that point. Because when the last episode comes out, we don't have the next chapter, they will pass the manga. And it's possible the manga may expand even more and keep going on while the anime ends. So that is it for this video. I know it was a bit late. I was busy on so many things, I didn't have time to make it. To which case, after this, Sasuke Retsuden chapter 7 is coming out, or it might be chapter 6.3, 1 to 2. And I'll be reviewing that tomorrow alongside episode 285, which comes out on Sunday. Now, after that video, I do have the opening and the ending. Now, I was waiting on the new ending because I heard that they changed some things up, so that's why I didn't make the ending video yet. I am going to make the review for both the opening and the ending, so stay tuned for that. So that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos to come.